What is up, you guys? Welcome to another Tuesday with Spencer here on FTM Transtastic. This week we're discussing body positivity, body image issues, etc. And I'm talking about feeling comfortable in this skin. So I was born in Haifa, Israel, and I lived there until I was about 8 and a half. And I really didn't have any problems in Israel being black and Jewish. It was no issue. In Israel, there's a lot of black Jews, brown Jews, white Jews, as well as black non-Jews, brown non-Jews, and white non-Jews. So it was really no big deal. When I came to America, about 8 and a half, 9, one of the biggest questions that has been problematic throughout my entire, time here in the States is, how are you black and Jewish? Now, a lot of you may not understand why this is such a big deal for me, but my religion is such a strong influence in myself. It's such a strong identifier for me. So when somebody would question my religion based off of my race, I was completely confused and kind of shocked. And it started building this idea that for whatever reason, because of this black skin, I am not Jewish enough. For me, that was a huge problem. I very much enjoy my religion and enjoy the heritage behind it. I'm a Sephardic Jew. I was born in Haifa. I very much enjoy that part of myself. So when something like my skin color completely diminishes those connections that I have in the States, it really makes me anxious. It started when I was like 8 and a half through, until I was 18, really. I would start doing these things like completely disregarding my Ethiopian heritage, completely disregarding the lineage that I have there, and only immerse myself in my Israeli lineage and my Sephardic heritage and my Jewish culture and my Jewish religion, and not care about the other part of my identity. I would start rambling off Hebrew to people who ever said that I wasn't Jewish enough or how I was Jewish. I would start just completely talking about Israeli politics and Jewish politics in depth that people wouldn't know unless they were from Israel or were aware of it, kept abreast of the national issues, to people who said I couldn't be black and Jewish in the States. Or in high school, I would get into a bunch of fights. I'm violent. I got into I think 6 or 7 fights throughout my high school career because people told me that I wasn't Jewish enough, or asked me how I was black and Jewish and all this stuff, because it caused me so much anxiety and so much turmoil and so much just shame that for whatever reason I wasn't viewed enough of something that meant so much to me. This was very caustic. I understand that a lot of people, when they think of poor body image or body negativity, it kind of stems around, if you were one way, you'd be more prettier versus the way you are now. And that really wasn't the case for me. It's not that I thought if I was of lighter skin, I'd be more beautiful. It was more of, if I was of lighter skin, I'd be more convincing when I said that I was Jewish, which made me start hating the shade that I have. And this only started in America, because in Israel, most people would just be like, oh, you're Jewish, you're probably Ethiopian. And I'd be like, yeah, and they'd be like, cool, and go on with their lives. It's not really a big thing there because lineage and history is known, so it's not something that's such a shocker. But here, it was a really big problem because it was one of the things that I clung to and I held on to when I was in orphanage and coming to the States and this promise of a new life. It was because of my faith that kept me going and thinking positively that now is being attacked because of my skin color. I get it. I get that there are a lot of different things that really could could be worse. And I understand that in the grand scheme of things, I know what I am, and I know that it shouldn't matter what other people think or perceive as Jewish people should be. But it was really hard just maneuvering throughout classes and schools and shuls, even synagogues and temples, who just weren't aware or weren't used to black Jews, and it kind of sucked. It's hard to want to accept yourself when you're constantly bombarded, whether that's media or by friends or by whatever, of what the standard of beauty or what the standard of trans or what the standard of black or what the standard of anything is, and you look at yourself and realize you don't fit that monologue, you don't fit that picture, you don't fit that style. It's really hard to not get down on yourself or not hate yourself or not, not want to change or want to change so bad because you want to fit what people are conforming, whatever community you belong to or whatever it is that you're trying to fit into. People only see this as one way when there's obviously other ways to exist in these spaces. For me, it was being black and Jewish. It's silly to me now at 23 realizing that, like, wow, I cared that much of what Americans had to say about my Jewish heritage or my Israeli lineage. I cared that much of what 6th graders had to say about the faith that I know is true to me. But it gets caustic and it wears you down when all you're faced with is people telling you that you are not the norm. And I know people like to glorify being unique, but for me, there's some spaces when I just want to fit in and just wanting to blend in and just not wanting to have to always be a spokesperson against the norm. There's some spaces where I just wanted to be normal, air quotes. But I hope you guys are having a great week and are gearing up for an even better weekend. I got a new tattoo, which is kind of funny that we're talking about this. Hold on, I guess I can go on this side. The artwork is called Don Quixote's Jerusalem. Don Quixote is a book. Jerusalem's a place. You should check it out. It's Tuesday. It's Spencer. Until next time.